Hey guys, welcome back to Iggy's Toy Parade and Soldier Review. This is your host, Iggy. Happy 4th of July to those of you residing in the United States. And this is, I believe, my 216th video. So, episode 216. And before you, we have a Hasbro G.I. Joe Desert Patrol Jeep. Now, this Jeep was produced in 2002 and I purchased it in January of 2003, and I got it on clearance at Target, and it was only $4.98. Can you believe that? For a Jeep this size, it's unbelievable. But I think what happened is they forgot to put it out. And when they finally put it out after Christmas, it was too late, and it already had gone clearance in their system. So I got this for a very good price. And what you see here is the Long Range Desert Patrol Jeep. The Long Range Desert Patrol was originally, here I go again, guys. It was originally, hello, I can't talk, but I'm having a good time. It was originally, what am I talking about? I forgot. Oh, the Long Range Desert Patrol was formed in 1940 at the auspices of General Wavell. I wonder if General Wavell had a naval. Anyway, and the Long Range Desert Patrol became the Long Range Desert Group, and it was augmented in 1941 by the creation of the Special Air Service. I think actor Christopher Lee was in, I'm not sure if he was SAS or Long Range Desert Patrol, but he had some wild experiences. He relates driving through a village that was occupied by the Germans and throwing a hand grenade in the window of a surprised German who watched them drive by. Also, Christopher Lee spoke German. I guess it's because of his long range patrol activities. That was probably a useful skill to have. Now, G.I. Joe released a Desert Patrol Jeep in 1967, which was pretty much getting on the bandwagon of the Rat Patrol TV show. The Rat Patrol TV show lasted a couple seasons in the United States. However, in Great Britain, it was not very popular, and the reason for that is it showed Americans leading the way in the fight against Rommel, and that was pretty much a British show. By the time the Americans had arrived, Rommel had already been sent back to Germany because of his health. And I guess all the stress of trying to fight at El Alamein kind of ruined his health. He wasn't getting any support because Hitler was obsessed with the Russian campaign. So pretty much the Afrika Korps was left to wither on the vine, so to speak. Although when they did send reinforcements, it was too late, and they pretty much threw those forces away. I think they sent the 10th Panzer Division, and it was wasted in North Africa because the British and Americans by that time had overwhelming majority. But this Jeep, the show over there was not so well received for obvious reasons. But in America, it was popular with the kids. And the actor who played, what was it, the character's name? Sam Troy. I think that was the character's name, Sergeant Troy. And he was played by Christopher George. And the actor Christopher George was like the quintessential American, rough and tumble guy, sort of a John Wayne type of character. And he was actually Greek. He spoke fluent Greek because his parents came from Thebes and Athens. And he was born in America, but his parents, he spoke only Greek until he was like 6 or 7 years old. My favorite character on the show was an actor by the name of Hans Guderast. And of course, he was German, and he played a character called Captain Dietrich or Hauptmann Dietrich. Hans Guderast later changed his name to Eric Braden so that he could get more work instead of showing up on episodes of Combat as a Nazi. He said he wasn't too keen on things like that. But his character on the Rat Patrol was, I think, the best. Of course, he played an officer on the opposing side, but he was always decent and fair. And I really liked that character. What's funny thing about watching that show, The Rat Patrol, is that instead of using goggles that were issued during World War II, they have them wearing safety goggles from Home Depot or something. It's kind of funny. And of course, all the Germans are dressed in khaki instead of the reed green uniforms. But, that's when you're a kid, you don't know stuff like that. They did have a British character on the show played by Gary Raymond. He played a character called Sergeant Jack Moffat. And there was one character who got so little to do on the show that he was going to quit if they were renewed for a third season, but he didn't have to worry about it because the show was canceled after only 2 seasons. And that was Justin Tarr. He played Private Pettigrew. He was the one that always wore the helmet. And he was getting bored and had planned to quit the show. What else can we talk about this Jeep? We got a twin Lewis gun up here, and the Lewis gun was invented by an American, and the American soldier who invented the machine gun, the Lewis gun, tried to sell it to the U.S. military, and they didn't want it. And it was used quite a bit in aircraft. And in this capacity, it's being used as an anti-aircraft gun. And I think I broke it, or it was broken during storage. But you can see that the 2 guns are sort of separated. They should be together. The drum magazine on the top should be level with the other one, and it's not. I don't know what happened there. I had some difficulty putting parts back together like this here. I think this is, I'm not sure, but I think it's either part of the cooling system or it's an air filter. And they had to do this because of all the additional dust in the desert. Tanks had to have special filters made for them too, because the dust was so bad. This rifle you see here is a Mark III Lee Enfield, and this was made by Ultimate Soldier. And when I opened the box up with this Jeep, this was stuck in there because originally I had a couple of British soldiers in desert gear inside the Jeep when I had it on display. There was a piece missing from this, and I'll show you where that went. Let's turn this around so you can see the whole Jeep. It's got some nice details on the dashboard there. My Soldiers of the World Jeeps, which I really like, don't have that on them. What was I looking for? I guess I've already lost it again. It must have fallen off. but you see that it has 4 jerry cans on strapped to the roof. Now, why do they call gas cans jerry cans? Well, it's because they were invented by the Germans, and that's why the British called them jerry cans. Oh, here it is. This is what I want to show you. The original Jeep came with a shovel that went here, and I found the shovel, but it was with a bunch of loose G.I. Joe parts, and I didn't know that it went to this Jeep, but now I'll be able to recover it and put it where it belongs. This was real difficult for me to get this back on. It was, when I found it, it was like in pieces in the back here. It's amazing how everything falls apart when it's in storage or gets broken. When I was at my storage space the other day, yesterday, I noticed that all my framed art posters, the glass in every single one of them, every single one was broken and smashed into a million pieces. What happened is I didn't put them in boxes with bubble wrap. I just put them in storage. And of course, boxes fall down or when, like yesterday, the last remaining one was a print of a ship from the Civil War, a supply ship from the Civil War that I got at, I think it was at the National Archives building in Washington, D.C. when I was there. And it was the only one with a piece of glass still on it. And it fell over while I was working in the storage trying to get some boxes out. And then another box fell on top of it and smashed it. And then I stepped back and stepped on it and smashed it some more. But that was the last one that had glass, so none of them have glass now. A lot of things get broken in storage. If you're there long enough, all of your possessions will be ruined, every single one of them. Like my end tables, had some pair of really nice end tables. They're all scratched up. The door on one of them is loose. My coffee table, I have a really nice coffee table. It's all scratched. I'll have to refinish it when I move. But that's just the nature of being in storage. So if you're contemplating that, make sure you're not in storage longer than a couple years tops. Otherwise, you will inherit a bunch of broken and ruined items. Okay, that's my advisory, storage advisory announcement. Let's see, what could I tell you about the Jeep? I think I covered all of it. Well, you know what? There's a rumor that Christopher George died as a result of his injuries on the Rat Patrol TV show, but that's not, I mean, it might have contributed to his heart problems, but he died of a massive heart attack. And he also smoked, he had heart disease and he smoked like a chimney. And he had a major heart attack, cardiac arrest, and that's what he died of. But a lot of people say it was from his Rat Patrol experience. And that's probably not true. Now, this Jeep, G.I. Joe came out with one celebrating the Rat Patrol in 1967, and it had a pedestal mounted into this here with a 50 caliber machine gun. And my friend Doug said that he remembers getting one of those Jeeps for Christmas. This one is, of course, quite different than that version of the Jeep. But I wouldn't mind having the other one too. It was also a fun Jeep. This one looks a little more realistic, I think. Okay, guys, that's it for my G.I. Joe long-range Desert Patrol Jeep. And I want to thank you for getting Iggy with it. And for those of you who have enlisted in the Iggy Army, I want to thank you again very much. I appreciate you guys signing up. Sometimes I get a little discouraged and feel like quitting doing this. But when I see another subscription, it's okay. Somebody else is out there, not just me. Okay, you guys, Thank you very much. I'll see you next time. I think my next video, I might, it's a choice between a medieval castle and some 40th anniversary, more 40th anniversary G.I. Joe. You guys know how I like the 40s. I love the packaging in the 40s. Okay, that's it. Should I say goodbye? Or should I say what Hans Guderost would say? Auf Wiedersehen! Ciao.